Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
By the power of Grayskull!
I am dumping unlimited power into you. We named zombies after you in that game.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're these big fat bloaters that sun themselves and they just lay there.
Oh, those are the things that come out of my rainbow's ass.
That's what
All Shooty wanted to do was be inside me.
Imagine for a moment, if you will, being Adam's neighbor. You're sitting in your favorite easy chair. Maybe you got a cup of tea and you're reading your favorite book, and out of nowhere, through the wall, you hear this. Culturally appropriate my dick.
Come.
They warned us about people like you!
It was one of the first James Bond movies I watched, so I have a bit of a connection to it. And
that's Dermot's excuse.
I don't fuck.
It was their first date, Adam. Shut up.
I will stop bringing it up. I don't give a fuck what that wannabe VTuber cunt wants to say. Okay, let me have my moment.
Dude, that's like a test of strength. That's not gay. That's like I'm gonna grip you. I'm gonna grip you harder than you grip me, brothers and sisters.
Oh no!
I want you to gather around. I want you to gather around and understand that we are in a time of troubles. Know that a darkness has descended upon us, or one may call it a shadow has descended. A shadow that also hides fairy tale communism. And what you must know in order to battle this, that you must join together and understand that when the black man runs through Japan, it may be gay, but it's okay because it's non-binary. And when the hairy-backed, unibrowed, fairest of them all, when she says we can all share in our daily tributes, you must understand that it's okay because she's a half-breed and she hates herself. You must understand that when she says she's the fairest of all, it's because deep down inside, she suppresses her whiteness. And that's okay. And that when you are creeping across the tops of the roofs across Japan, and you peek in the window and see that man being sodomized,
wow.
You must understand that it's okay because it's in a video game. And if you are a chud, you must cry hard. And remember, when we get through these dark times, through these shadows, and we leave the communist propaganda behind, when you are out with your family, walking through town, stay away from the pizza joints because you never know when the throat goat may be there. Look around, you can understand that throat goats are among us, and they will tempt you with the pizza. But do not listen to them, for they will not deliver on the promises that they make. That is why they are throat goats. And that is just.
Oh God,
those eyes, dude. Those eyes, man. Those eyes.
Pretty eyes.
I'm not looking at them eyes right now.
You know what?
I know, but she is a total package. She is a total package.
I usually think Ryan. I usually think Ryan is very cringe when he says this, but she can shit in my mouth.
Whoa,
God,
Dermy!
Why do you have to ruin
What
this?
the fuck?
Ryan says that shit.
Fuck,
Ryan
dude.
says this shit.
If Ryan jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge?
But you just
For her, yeah.
Would.
Here we are worshiping this beautiful woman, and you're talking about German shit eating. I mean, come on.
Listen. I will drag my ball sack.
No. Listen.
100
You
miles
listen to
worth
me.
of
Shut the fuck up.
broken glass, salt, and lemon
Shut the
juice
fuck up,
just
Jeremy.
to smell her farts.
We're not on your goddamn stream. We're on Adam's stream. We're
Wow,
supposed to respect the man's house. You don't take shit in his goddamn fridge.
You are a worthless turd.
All right, Devil. Here we go. Now these are
Do you
the
peel
bananas
it first, or are you going to take the whole thing?
No,
Love
I'm
the banana.
going to eat it.
Want
I'm
the
going to eat
banana.
it. All right, so now it's going to be extra distasteful because, as you can see, it started to ripen, and I don't like a ripe banana. I like a slightly green banana, so it's not going to taste as very good at all to me.
Make sure you cup it.
Well, I mean, all right. So now it has to be circumcised. So there we go.
That's true. You need to make sure you do that. Okay,
Make sure Abraham is.
You also need to make sure to
no, listen,
prep your
listen.
uvula.
Okay, you know what? There were no rules set down for this. Okay, outside of I just have to eat it the long way, which whatever the fuck that means.
It means try a one fucking bite, bitch.
Yeah. So I have a gag reflex, so we're gonna. All right. So how's that? Is that a good angle?
Yeah, that's a really good angle. Come on, deep throat that banana.
No, Kratos. There is no sweet.
I'm really uncomfortable now.
I'm a man of my word. Okay. All right. Here comes the memes. I deliver. I have to build my. I don't want to put something long in my mouth like this.
So many clippable moments.
Do it.
All right, let me try and control my laughter. I can't be laughing when I do this. I might choke. Okay, give me a second here.
Get it, girl.
Yeah, that's right. You take.
I hit the gag. I hit the back of my throat.
2 words Dermy's never
that's
said.
That's what it does when that happens.
You need to fix it.
All right, is that it? Am I done?
Well, you got a banana there.
Well, now I'm just eating a regular banana at this point. I took it the long way as much as I could.
Yeah, I'm fine. We got what we want. The clip.
If Devil is satisfied, then we're done.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
That feels like a lifetime ago. So much has happened since then.
So much pain, so much suffering.
Yeah. We did learn that when Dermot tried to do it, he actually has a gag reflex, which is kind of surprising. I didn't realize it was going to happen.
He faked it.
He faked it. Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Mellow Mondays, where we do goofy shit. We try to relax and be nerds, but weird shit does happen, and it'll be that way. Because guess what? That's the show. That's the show. There is some structure. Some structure sometimes. Like tonight, there's 2 things we're going to go over. Other than that, it'll be freewheeling. I'll throw things out there. We'll see where it takes us. The chat will sometimes force us down a road we don't necessarily want to go, but that's how it works. So, hey, Bug. How you doing tonight?
I've been pretty okay so far. Just kind of enjoying some time off, and then I don't know. You ever have that weird feeling when you see some like media product out there and you feel weird for being like the one guy in the room that's like, everyone likes this, but I don't. And it just...
Oh, I've been there plenty of times. Anime plenty of times. Plenty of people suck in anime's dick hard, and I'm like, fuck this show. Fuck it. Yeah, I've been there lots of times. Yeah, I understand you.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that stage with the Absolute Batman comic.
I have no interest in any of that stuff. I just don't.
Yeah, I know that.
Even if they animated it, I wouldn't care. I mean,
yeah, I know the comics aren't exactly your normal cup of tea there, but like, yeah, I got like a video planned out for it because like a while ago, one of the recent issues got around the block because there's a quote unquote funny moment of Batman punting a small child in the air like a football, which, out of context is kind of funny, I admit. And it kind of got around into the meme sphere naturally, not a forced meme, which to me it's kind of worse because it's like, oh God, that means it's like it's got a little more gas in the tank, and I really don't want it to get any farther than it has.
You know why that one turned me off? Absolute Batman is the whole axe thing on his chest. That I didn't like when they revealed that. That bugged me, and the symbol because it was the axe. I didn't like it.
It gets even dumber because like his entire suit is like a super weapon thing. Like he just has spikes that shoot out of him. His ears he stabs people with. It's like I don't know. It's to like shorten it down pretty quick is just I don't like it because it doesn't feel like Batman. I know people want to say, "Oh, it's alternate universe and stuff," but it's like no. Here's the thing. It's not. You can have all the flourishes and changes, whatever, but if it doesn't represent the core part of Batman, that's your problem. And I know they can do it well because their Wonder Woman does it perfectly. There's a lot of changes, but it's still Diana. It's still like her core features. Like this one is like the best way to describe it is this is what detractors of Batman and fans of Zack Snyder think Batman should be. Like
shoot people.
Like a brooding, emo, always depressed, angry motherfucker that's like destroying people's bodies.
Yeah, Batman's not brooding. He's just serious because he takes what he's doing really seriously and he devotes all his time to it, but he's not brooding. It's not like he's constantly sitting in a puddle of his own piss crying and going, "Oh, woe is me, I'm stuck in this life." No, he chose that. And it's who he is. Because there's this one famous, I forget what issue it is. It was described to me because I never read it, where it was a thing where all those different superheroes got mind read or something, and everybody saw had their secret identity told about them. But when somebody did it to Batman, there was no Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne was the secret identity. It's like it was Batman in there, and Batman is his real core. He's not really Bruce Wayne. Whereas Superman is really Clark. Wonder Woman is really Diana. A Flash could either be Barry or Wally and stuff like that. But no, Bruce Wayne is the fake thing, and Batman's the real thing. And that always stuck in my head. I think I probably butchered it, but it always stuck in my brain when you think about it that is who he is. That's who he chose to be. And pressing thing. It's a serious thing.
Yeah, it's a serious thing, but it's also like the thing that they do with this version of Batman. It's they get the intensity because Batman's meant to be like two different things. Like he's meant to be a symbol of like fear to criminals and whatnot. He's meant to like when he walks up on the scene, you're supposed to be terrified of the motherfucker.
You want to see the shadow looming. You want to see that. Yeah,
you see the shadow. It's like there. Good. All right. They kind of got that. Maybe overkill, but whatever. Sure. They don't have the symbol of hope part. They don't have the hopeful Bruce Wayne that's trying to help people out of the costume. They don't have the Batman that's a little more gentle in the moments of the intensity. I like my Batman where he can throw down with Killer Croc and Bane, but he will also stop to like give a little kid a lollipop, and be like, "Hey, there you go, kid."
Perfect example of that is Justice League Unlimited season 1 season finale, where it's the Royal Flush Gang and Ace has rebuilt it, and then he finds out she's dying, and he's like, "I'll sit here with you in your last moments."
Yeah, like that. That's like stuff like that is like good.
Yeah,
but they don't really have it. So basically, I just don't like it because I don't feel like this is this is the right Batman, and I don't want him to get popular because then that could taint any future Batman stuff down the line.
That's a decent fear. It's like it's the Miles Morales effect, where
Yeah,
suddenly,
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of like a general adaptation effect because you really think about it. You go down the list of like MCU stuff they put out, like Red Hulk and Moon Knight, etc. Those characters, how they fuck those up, and it's like, dude, you can't. Those characters got screwed. Those were their chances to like expand out of their normal comics. You know, they don't get opportunities like that. They're not like regular Batman or Superman where they can get an adaptation just like that. You know, there's a lot of work into it for those characters, and you fucked it up. You can't do a good first impression twice because you already fucked up the first impression. And that's what people are going to think of when you try to bring them back. It's like, nope, no one wants to do that. She-Hulk, perfect example. One of the most best characters in Marvel Comics. That show comes out. No one wants to touch that character with a 10-foot pole.
Yep, it's done. That's an excellent way to put it. First impressions matter.
Yeah,
but you know, it doesn't need a first impression because we already like him. Hi, Devil.
How's it going?
Feeling a little ill?
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me.
A little down with the sickness.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it when you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong with you. It's just like the general, man, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
And you can trace like, well, did I get enough sleep? Probably. Have I eaten anything wrong? No, I think I'm fine. It's not that kind of thing, but you just can't quite figure out what it is. And then they reach that moment, shit, I hope I ain't about to get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hit me last night, and I didn't sleep hardly any. And
oh, okay.
I was really hoping when I finally did pass, I was really hoping I'd feel better when I woke up, but it hasn't really gone away.
I mean, is it in your head?
No, it's in my like freaking intestines. Like I don't know.
Ooh, oh no.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. That is the only thing. There's really only one way to deal with it. Literally, time will pass, and you're either gonna, have an event, or you're just gonna let out a massive fart.
I'm hoping for the fart.
yes, but
hike the leg up, man. Hike the leg up.
I always know it's never a fart. I'm always just waiting for that cue to run to the toilet and be like, nope, it's gonna happen.
I don't know what it is, but
at first I hate that. That's the worst. Yeah.
At first,
can't sleep when you feel like that. You can't sleep.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I tossed and turned. I could not get comfortable. Could not fully pass out. And I was all like, okay, maybe it's because I didn't really eat too much for dinner. So I was all, maybe it's that, that like gut feeling you get when you're really hungry. So I was okay, I'm going to eat a little piece of bread. So I ate like half a piece of toast and it didn't do anything for me. So yeah, I've just been laying there all day today going, God damn it, when's this going to pass?
The worst one I ever had was a food poisoning incident like that. It was 2011. And I ate a bad chocolate muffin from the supermarket. And I think I just did it because my mom had been visiting me, and she ate one of the muffins too that I bought, and she had the exact same thing. And that was the only connecting piece to that. So that night, after she went home and I was alone in my apartment, the sickness hit me of combination nausea and, downtown James Brown. And it was horrible because I tossed and turned all night, fitful sleep, and then when something finally happened, it literally was the choice: front or back. It's like, which do you do first? And the choice was, you do the front first. Then you go for the dump truck, because I put my head into porcelain god after having had an issue, but it's still it was horrible. I know exactly, because you just lay there and it just twists up you inside, and you can't sleep. And I just remember that night. The only weird thing I remember about that night is I had the TV on in the other room. I still had terrestrial cable. I know, weird. And USA Network was running this Mark Harmon original movie that they had made. where he was some sort of detective, probably based on a book or something, and they left it on repeat all night. And because that was the channel that was on in the other room, I just left it on, and I just kept waking up hearing that movie all night for like hours and hours, and it drove me a little crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, dude, I feel I literally understand your pain, just like I understood what Bug was saying about being the only person that shits on something. How can a roast like this? I understand exactly what you're feeling like, but hopefully we'll bring some joy to your heart tonight. Hail to the chat, everybody out there. Hail Goddess, hail Static, hail anybody else just sitting there not chatting. We appreciate you guys joining us this evening because we're here to entertain. We're here to entertain, and we do have a couple of actual topics tonight. This is one I held over from. It was supposed to be on Roundtable yesterday, but we went overtime with other stuff, so I put it tonight because it could still be a real discussion. It's not so much covering news; it's a discussion. It's something that literally comes up every year, not like clockwork because it has its moments when it pops up, but it literally at some point every year, some person out there will bring up Star Wars and politics, and the stands will rush forward and say, Star Wars was always political. How can you say that it's not political? Well, yeah, Star Wars has politics in it because it's politically themed. So we're gonna hash that out a little bit tonight. I want to have a nice, solid discussion about that. Then this dropped in the late afternoon, and I thought, well, I need content for the stream, so we're going to react to the final trailer for Shooty Who Season 2. It's probably bad. I haven't watched it yet. I've held off. I started to realize, wait, no, don't do your own reaction. Just even if you're someone like Bug who doesn't give a shit, I want your open reaction to what the fuck did I just look at? That's what I want, the reaction to the ultimate gay horrible shit that's going to appear on that trailer. Oh, look who's here. Hello, Samuel. Wait, say that again.
And how's it going?
There you go. A little low. Maybe is it me? Maybe it's you. I don't know. A little low. How you doing?
I'm all right.
You all right? Feeling better?
Yeah, last week I don't know what the fuck. I think I ate something stupid.
No, now Devil's got it. So
awesome.
Devil's feeling the sick now, but so he'll hang out a little bit. If he has to go, we understand. We're just setting up here, getting ready. Now that you're here, though, let's have a little fun first. Now that we got everybody here, and we have updates. Drew will be joining us again in a few short weeks after he's finished with the training that he's doing for an event he's working on. So Drew will be back soon, guys. Don't worry. I didn't kick him off the show. He's still here. He just took a break. He's coming back. You never know who might else show up. You know, Doughboy might show up. You never know. But I want to put this one out first. Let's have a little fun first, shall we? Where is it? This is held over from last week. Okay, we would have talked about this last week, but I do want your thoughts on it because we're all nerd enough to understand that there's little parts of us that enjoy Mortal Kombat to this day. And they did drop some screen caps of the second new reboot movie coming out. And I'm sure you guys already have thoughts on this, so I'm not going to preamble anymore. Yeah, I mean, just like the first one, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I haven't watched it since. I have feelings. Go ahead, Bug.
I kind of actually, I actually think Mortal Kombat 20, whatever the fuck it was, I think that was actually worse than Annihilation.
Really? Annihilation is dog shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, I know, and I wouldn't say this without heart into it, man. Like at least Annihilation, they're using characters and they're semi-accurate to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, it's like we make up a whole ass OC character to throw in.
Yeah. That was bad. That was the worst thing. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, when you could have used Johnny Cage, which it sounds like that's what they're trying to do with this one, and it's like, why didn't you do that? It's way too late at this point. It's Johnny would have been perfect for Eyes as the audience like see in, because that's perfect. There you go. You could have done that first, but no. They went through the trouble of making up a fucking OC character that, I mean, it's bad fan fiction. I mean, like the descendant of Scorpion, and then at the end he gets to fight with him to beat Sub-Zero, and it's like ugh, like where's the this is just bad fan fiction shit.
Well, that was the sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
And with all this stuff, like the katana image and whatnot, I'm like, it's like, where's the mask? I know maybe she might have it later, but it's like, why would you not show it? It's like part of her character design.
I can forgive it if she's not in combat. You know, it might be something she pulls up when she's going to go fight. You know, I
maybe it's just it's like a nitpick I have where it's like, just give them the full thing. Like, but but if I know anything, it's probably just one of those actors like, no, you're not covering up my face. It's my moneymaker type bullshit. Whatever.
I mean, the whole, I don't have a problem. I don't necessarily have her overall look feels right. And I'm not going to dock points yet for no mask, because the mask may show up.
Yeah, it may show up, but it's like, I feel like this should be, especially these are your promotional images, and especially since you're showing off like Johnny Cage and Shao Kahn and Scorpion, it's like, maybe like go full hog at least. You know,
here's what I see. Here's what I see in this. One, we all love Carl Urban. Is that fair? We all love Carl Urban. Carl Urban was great. I'm sure he's going to be great because Carl Urban commits to all this shit when he does genre. He just goes.
He tends to be the best thing in
just look at Dredd.
Everything.
Just look at Dredd. He went full hog in that one. My whole problem is he's too old, and I worry that that's going to be an issue when watching this. I'm going to feel that he's old, too old Carl Urban, despite how much you love him. But I look at him here. I look behind here. At least the guy being Liu Kang actually looks like Liu Kang this time. He didn't look like Liu Kang in the first one. They still got the Jax with his weird arms that they gave him, and we can't see what Sonya Blade looks like anymore. There's that. I want to, but then there's this, the Shao Kahn. A lot of people were liking the Shao Kahn. I don't know what to feel about this. I honestly don't.
I think I need to see more before I can make a decision on it. That's what
is. Is he large? Is he just
Bug's all like, go ahead and do a spin for me.
I mean, it's just I would need to see a little bit more to determine the look on him, because I don't know. There was a lot of choices with this that I'm just not feeling it. Like, because dude, the simplest shit they overcomplicate in the first movie. I mean, Jax's arms, Kanu's eye, Sonya's like wrist gauntlets. They turn that into superpowers, which makes it even like dumber. Like, look, I get it. You gotta try to make a movie of this make sense, but just accept the fact that Mortal Kombat is just what you get when you have a kid that's mashing toys from different franchises together. That's all it is. It's just a kid with a toy box. Because you got fucking cyborgs, ninjas, gunslingers, gods, lizard people. I mean, like, it's just a kid with a fucking mixed up toy box. And if you just accept that and go, yeah, okay, here's the thing. There you go. You say genuine, like, with your chest. That's what it is. Good. You don't need to, like, overcomplicate it for the fucking normies. I mean, like, come on. Especially for a normie generation that's been raised on goddamn Marvel movies. I think they can accept, okay, this is a world where there's cyborgs and wizards and all this crazy shit. You know, you don't need to overcomplicate it. Jax's arms did not need to be fucking magic. Like, what the fuck was the point of that? It's just cyborgs.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. To me, I agree with you 100% that it feels like shitty fanfic. You're right. They could have went with Johnny Cage instead of that fake character that no one really cared about. It would have been better off. I don't like the look of Yeah, I don't like the look of Katana. I think they chose a very mid actress, and if you look at the freaking
I agree.
lore,
That is not a beautiful woman there. That's a very plain woman.
and we know there's plenty of ridiculously hot Japanese girls. Cloud touches himself all the time on the internet to him. So why'd they pick a mid? Because of, we can't have her be too pretty, even though in the lore she is supposed to be the most gorgeous woman, right?
They keep uggifying her in the video games, though. They do
that for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
I'm still, I'm still wondering about this one little thing, because you know how they made Melina like black
in the last one. Yeah, I always forget they had Melina in the last one.
Yeah, and right, so and we got to look at Katana. So it's like, okay, Katana's like who she's supposed to look like for the most part. So now I'm just wondering, did they turn the Tarkatans into Wakanda people? Because are they all going to be black?
Ooh.
Sharp teeth, bloodthirsty creatures.
Yeah.
Do it. No balls.
No, they're going to have orange hair.
Oh, Lord.
We're going to make Tarkatan great again.
Yeah.
Tarkatan forever.
Oh fuck, Adam, you might joke.
Did I just will that into existence?
That was actually a victory pose in Mortal Kombat 11.
You're right. Oh, Baraka used to go like this with his blades, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but there's also a victory pose that's literally called Tarkatan Forever, where he holds up a flag and it does. It's a flag of Tarkatan or whatever, because like it was one you can unlock.
I didn't actually play the game. I just watched a giant compilation of all the cutscenes to basically watch the movie. That's all I did, because I was just curious. I ran out of things to watch one day, and I just watched all of everything from MK9 through MK11.
I do that now. I do that now with all fighting games, because I can't fucking play them anymore. The last one I played was Injustice 2, and it's like after you beat the story,
I watched that one too. One too.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things where it's like after you beat the campaign, you're like, well, what the fuck do I do now?
It's like I don't have anybody to play with. I don't want to play.
I don't want to play the side shit or anything. It's like because it's the same fucking mode, and it's like, no, I'm good. So now, anytime a new fighting game will come out, I'll just like, all right, I'm gonna wait a few hours for the cutscenes to come out on YouTube, and then I'm gonna call it a day.
Yeah. Samuel, do you give a shit?
I mean, I played all these games, and I played a bunch of them by my onesie too for quite a while. I think Mortal Kombat 10, and I played that for probably about 100 hours on my own. Just because I enjoyed the game, that was about it. But the story mode, you're absolutely right about all that shit. When they brought in Chronica, and it was such a goddamn mess. Like none of the story is any good,
Yeah.
But the actual gameplay I like quite a bit. I liked Injustice 2 also. I played a lot of that shit. I mean, I also played with friends, but I spent a lot of time, on my own, because I enjoy fighting games. But I don't know. I'm kind of curious about this next movie.
I'm gonna watch.
I enjoyed the last one probably more than most people did. How
many times you watched it?
So yeah, it's.
Did you watch more?
I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just couldn't.
Yeah.
So I might rewatch it
enjoyed
before this one
for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was the way I feel it. It was an evening's entertainment, and that was good enough for me. And
yeah.
I think this one looks like it's a massive course correction for what they tried to do with the first one, though. That's what it feels like to me.
I'm not buying it personally.
Well, if fake fanfic Scorpion Descendant guy isn't in it, then I think it's a real course correction. If they just jettisoned him and he's forgotten.
I mean, they should have killed Cole off when Goro showed up to murder his family.
Yeah,
honestly.
Honestly, that movie would have been better served if Scorpion had been just there the whole time.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm not saying that the movie was good. It's not, but
I know you're
does,
not.
like everything that Hiroyuki Sanada is in is fucking gold. That guy was awesome, and he should be in more of it.
And the dude who played Sub-Zero, I like that guy. I've seen
he
him in
was
other
really
stuff,
good too.
and he's an excellent martial artist too. That dude is a badass.
Right.
So they had some really good choreography in the movie. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I'm just concerned about how they're going to go about doing the story because, like we had problems with Venom happening without Spider-Man. Like, there are certain things that have to happen for certain characters to get to where they need to be. Like, Bihan's going to come back as Noob Saibot in this, but if you don't have Quan Chi, there like how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, and they killed Kung Lao.
And they killed off Kung Lao. And honestly, Melina shouldn't be dead this early either.
Yeah. Yeah, because without Melina, you don't have the tension of being like mutated clone of Katana and feeling, less than her. So it's
right.
And it's they played.
And they did Goro dirty too. They did Goro dirty in that movie.
They did everybody dirty.
I know, but they just brought him out to get his ass kicked.
I mean, like,
well, they probably killed him off to get to Shiva.
Nah, I don't know. Who knows? But I mean, like, maybe this is a course correct movie. I don't know. We have to wait.
There's a good chance. I'll just say there's a good chance.
Maybe
there's a good chance.
For me, I'm not even giving them the benefit of the doubt because the movie was pretty fucking bad for me. I know there was some bright spots. Like, I liked Kano. I liked Scorpion. Some of the stuff was cool, like Sub-Zero and all that, but there was a lot of shit. Like, Sonya was just a fucking cunt. Like, not even like entertaining or fun. She was just bitch. And it's like, I know she's meant to be a tough, like, no nonsense chick, but the way they did it was like the Captain Marvel method, and it's like,
what I hope is that they've recast Raiden, because I couldn't understand a word that dude said.
I don't think they're gonna.
I mean,
I don't know. I think they're gonna do just like they did with the first one, which was lean way too hard on CG to try to sell it to us. Oh, look at all the different powers you can see so clearly. And then focus on story and acting ability and stuff like that. And I'm afraid they're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna get a lot of cool stuff that looks really cool on film, but not a very great story and nothing that wants to keep us
now
in it.
When does this come out? I don't know when this comes out. It doesn't say here.
I thought it was like next year.
Is it next year? Let me look real quick. Let me just close this out because I'm curious when it's coming out. I'm curious, right? So and that this time it's going to go to the movies. It's not going to be day and date this time because of COVID. It'll be released in the movies. So it'll release date October this year.
Oh God,
October 24th.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
they put a rush on it then.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably stuck, boys.
Yeah.
Well,
I just I feel this is not. I don't have high hopes for this, but then again, I don't have high hopes for Mortal Kombat in general because the last games were kind of complete fuck up.
One has been savage, although I know they did release the T1000 DLC pack last week amongst everything else, and the stands were happy.
Well, I mean, it's like it's fun little fan service and whatnot, and fun little shenanigans, but that doesn't really do a whole lot, like, because it's DLC character. It's a guest character. It doesn't really affect it's not story.
Plot.
It's not the story, which fucked that up already because they couldn't help themselves. Like, you had a clean slate, and then you were like, but multiverse though. And then they just went down that hill, and it's like, you already know how it's gonna go. That, like, the next game or two, they're gonna go, well, we're gonna reboot yet again, and it's like, okay, like, And that's even if you still have a fan base at this fucking point.
I guess they still have a bit of a core left, but they pissed off a lot of people with MK1. Pissed off a lot.
Yeah, because it's like you overcomplicated everything when you literally gave yourselves like the perfect like slate. It's like
to just do something entirely new.
Yeah, it's like okay, new universe, new rules, new start off point. Awesome, excellent. Okay, let's do it. Perfect. I'm all for it. And then we go, oh well, there's multiverse. It's like wow.
Yeah, it's just so
that's all.
I don't disagree at all. Yeah.
That's all fucked. The live action movie could be okay. That's probably the best I'm ever assuming it's gonna be. Because I don't think it'll be gangbusters. Because
let me see what day is October 24th. Hang on a second. I'm just curious in relation because I did review the last. Okay, it's a Friday. You know what's gonna happen? Fatty's gonna probably make us all watch it for Ballbusters.
Yay!
He's probably gonna do it. Now, I may or may not review it. We'll see how I feel about things in October. My life could be completely different in October. Who knows? And I may be going, oh, you know what? I don't need to waste my time reviewing this. I'll watch it at some point and I'll join a discussion, but I don't know if I need to review it because I'll be honest, with the exception of something like Snow White this week, which I have been prepping years to review, or an event that we knew was going to be bad, like Black Fall and Captain America, or later this summer when Fantastic Four Baby Steps. These are things that that are important for the framework of overall discussions. But I generally don't like to review movies because I'll be honest, I can't compete with larger channels. So, and my style of reviewing doesn't really necessarily go well with a movie review because I like to use visuals, I like to use clips, and you can't get that if it's a new release, at least not quality.
Yeah, and even then you can't really use.
Yeah,
you can't use a lot of the material.
You have to know what you're doing. I mean, when it comes to TV, I've got that formula down. I don't get hit. I know how to avoid the bots and all that kind of stuff. So, I like TV. So that's my preferred things to review. But if let's something special, I will generally not do it. Although I'll watch something so I can participate in a discussion. But I won't do it because Dermy tells me to. Okay. Okay. No, Ariel. The banana ain't happening again. Listen, it's not happening again. It's not. It's just not because I'm not gay. I don't like to feel something long and semi-stiff in my mouth. Clip that however you want.
I'm going to leave that line right where it is.
Okay, let's have a little fun now before we get into some more serious stuff here. Here's this one. We all like music around here. We enjoy music. We've done one of these kind of type before, but I want to do it again because this is a good mix. It's a different mix than the last time we did this. You can only purchase one ticket to watch them. I know my answer.
Okay,
I'll go first. I'm gonna go see Freddie and Queen, baby. I'm gonna go see Freddie and Queen. Rock and roll. My kind of rock and roll. I'm watching Queen, baby, and Freddie.
Who's in the middle? I can't quite see it.
That's Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Oh.
That's late career Michael Jackson.
Well, that's pre-white.
Yeah, he's
no, it's post-white. It's just a bad picture.
That looks like around, I think 2000s.
This is before. Now this would be like probably late 90s, around the time History came out with Janet Jackson.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? So I'm going Freddie Mercury and Queen. Going Freddie Mercury and Queen. I love Queen is great.
I'm torn. It's either gonna be Freddie Mercury or gonna be David Bowie. I don't know.
You see, with several, there are a couple of wrong answers on here. I'll be honest, maybe it's because of my predilection, my tastes in music, but more than half of these, or at least half of these, I could say, 5 of these, maybe six, are not wrong answers. 3 of them to me are a wrong answer.
For me, yeah, like Bob Marley, Biggie, and Tupac, like I have no interest in their music whatsoever.
That's those are the wrong answers. Those are the wrong answers.
No hate on them or anybody who likes them. It's just not my, like, I just don't like hip hop. I don't like reggae. So, yeah, like the other 6 I probably would go see because they were all legends in their time.
Yeah.
If I had to pick absolutely one,
that's the game.
Probably, I don't know, man. I'm torn between MJ and Bowie because both of those guys threw legendary shows.
True. See, that's the thing you got to take into account. When you're looking at Prince and Bowie, Michael, and
Prince would be good too.
Prince, Michael, and Bowie, those dude that was an experience.
Yeah,
to watch those guys put on something. Queen, it's about for me. I just love their songs. That's why I choose that. I rock out to those songs. They're so much fun to me. There's so many iconic ones, but if you want the experience, then a Bowie, a Prince, or an MJ concert, those in their prime, those are next level.
But I mean, then again, you could always are we picking like specific eras? Because Coked Up Whitney was probably a sight to behold too.
Kiss my ass.
You know, I don't know. I'll probably go with Michael Jackson because they didn't call him the king of pop for nothing.
And that's not a wrong answer. Devil.
I agree with you. I wouldn't take Bob Marley because I've pretty much stopped smoking weed and I don't need to get that high. I wouldn't go to a Tupac or Biggie concert because I don't want to be shot.
Neither did they.
You know what? You don't want to go to Freddie Mercury because you don't want to get AIDS.
No.
Hey, listen, no, Freddie. No.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get AIDS, but I definitely would probably
get live AIDS.
Dude, that concert was epic, though, man.
It was a hell of a show. Yeah,
when they came out and just nobody knew that was going to be the moment of that whole thing when Queen reunited on that stage and just blew everybody's minds.
It's definitely down to Bowie, Prince, Michael, or Queen, but I would have to say just their entire catalog and what I would want to be at and remember. I'd probably go with Bowie. I mean, well, no, I'd go with Queen. I'd go with Queen. That would have to be it.
Yeah. Listen, I would want to enjoy those experiences, but I agree with Devil. I want to enjoy a Queen concert, rocking out, singing those songs, experiencing it live. That would be cool. But Samuel's not wrong. An MJ experience in his prime, blow your mind. We know that. I mean, none of us chose Prince, but Prince is not a wrong answer because that dude was incredible. He was a performer. I mean, we most recently back in February when we were talking about the football halftime show, the Super Bowl halftime show, and we were like, "What the hell did we just watch?" And then literally everybody was going back and watching on ones, even me. And you watched the Prince halftime show, and dude, that was an entertainer. That was unique, entertaining, fun experience, and it was just that little thing, and he made you feel like you just watched something spectacular, even though it's just like a 10-minute Super Bowl halftime performance. So it was great. And all right, here's a problem. See, Ariel, don't make it sexual. Don't make it sexual. We're not going for trouser snake around here. All right.
Yeah, that's what Jeremy does.
Yeah, Jeremy was here. He'd go see Bowie. He might. Well, no. Well, all right. Well, he already has dermaids, so maybe he has nothing to be afraid of Freddie.
The first question freaking Dermy would ask is which black man has the largest penis?
I mean...
and here's the thing. I mean, Logan's right. When you look at the catalogs of Bowie and Prince and Queen, I'm gonna take Michael out of that because that's pop. But Bowie, Prince, and Queen, that's rock and roll. That's rock. And they have their catalogs and all those memorable songs. And Michael's memorable songs, but that's a different thing. You're not going to an MJ concert thinking about guitar riffs. You're thinking about his classic songs and how he performs them. You're going to a Prince song or a Bowie concert, Prince concert, Bowie concert, or a Queen concert, and you're thinking about legendary riffs, legendary solos, legendary openings, stuff like that. That's what you're thinking about there. So you can't discount Prince and Bowie. When I don't discount them when I say Queen, I just like Queen more, is what I'm saying in the end of that one. That's the reason I'm doing that. But it's still legendary to listen to their songs. Great songs. Pop culture, not pop culture, but zeitgeist breaking songs. Well, all right, here's the question then. Taking that out, since we've all chosen, and Chad has thrown theirs in there. Out of a lot of these guys here, and of course I cannot speak to Marley, Biggie, and Tupac. I can't really do that because again I don't listen to rap and I don't listen to what do you call Marley stuff? Is it reggae? Is it?
It's reggae, yeah.
It's reggae? Okay. Out of these 9 here, who do you think has left the biggest imprint in pop culture and culture zeitgeist in general with their music?
MJ.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I don't even have to go that far. I like literally the last season of Super Sentai, they made their big bad. They based its design specifically off Michael Jackson. Like the red outfit, the hat. He's got a little monkey. He does like all the dance moves. You know, he does the yee. Like they even give him a final look. Where,
do it. She.
Yeah, they even have a little fun with the fake allegation thing that they had with MJ. You know, where they have him obsessed with the character in a very odd way.
Okay.
So like, if you have someone that can inspire that in fucking Japan right now, that's definitely somebody who's got a big cultural like hit. You know, so it's definitely Michael Jackson for like the biggest hit for me there.
I can't disagree with what you're saying because
I mean, yeah, look, as far as like, I mean, Biggie didn't have as big an impact as Tupac, and Tupac's main impact, besides he did some unconventional stuff with his beats.
The biggest impact they had was on the ground after they got shot.
That's what I'm getting at. Let me finish the fucking sentence, bud. is that because like, you know, aside from a couple of innovative things he did with rap, with the actual beats and the music and stuff, like using the piano, for instance, most rap artists still to this day don't do that. Yeah, that was it. That was his murder was his biggest cultural impact. You know,
right,
it's unfortunate, but there it is.
Devil's gonna go. All right, Devil.
Yeah.
Go take it easy, man. Go take it easy.
Yeah. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Hopefully in the week.
All right, man.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Devil. That's it. Right. Go ahead, Sam.
So, but yeah, that was his biggest cultural impact, and like Marley, people know Marley, but it's like
can you name?
They know
his
name more than
I Shot the Sheriff. That's the only one I can name.
That's and you know, I mean, that's like they know his name. They don't know his music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I imagine because I think he's from Kingston, Jamaica, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And he's probably very well known there. He probably has a much bigger impact in his hometown. But yeah, it's unless you're in like fucking Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, like, you know, most people don't know his fucking music. He didn't have that big an impact. Prince did, but it wasn't on the same level as like a Bowie or Michael Jackson, for instance. Like David Bowie, without David Bowie, there's no Kiss, there's no Marilyn Manson. There's no shock rock. There's no Alice. Well, I mean, maybe Alice Cooper, you know, they started around the same time, but you know, like without him pushing certain boundaries, there's a lot of shit that doesn't happen. There's a lot of bad shit too, like Harry Styles, that doesn't happen. So there's that too. But you know, like he changed the way that performances were like that concerts were thrown. You know, he was doing innovative shit long before fucking Peter Frampton, you know, for instance. You know, and I think he paved the way for a lot of people. A lot of people don't remember this, but he got his start in the late 50s when he was like
really
18 years old. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You know, so like he was out there doing music and doing like insane, crazy shit, you know, long before anybody else was. You know, I think the closest I can think that was around, that started around that time, was Black Sabbath, and they of course took a very different direction. But again, they had a huge impact too. Without them, there's no any metal at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, and Hendrix revolutionized guitar work. He had a huge impact as well. Freaking Eric Clapton looked up to him, and Eric Clapton's still one of the best living guitarists alive. You know, for how much longer, I don't know, but
that's what I'm saying. Like this side of this panel here, they all left their imprint on pop culture, and it's hard to say, but I think in the end, MJ does have the biggest impact because Michael Jackson transcended music into pop culture. He became something larger than life than even all these guys.
I mean, he is the king
you
of pop.
Go anywhere in the world and they know who Michael Jackson is, dude.
I mean, I remember this is when I started. I mean, because I was a kid in it's mid 80s when Bad comes out, and Bad just kind of it just lit everything on fire again, and it jumped into another level where then you had Captain freaking EO. I went to Disney World to see Captain freaking EO. And
I remember Captain EO.
And then at the same time, they released a little. It was a I don't know how it was released. All I know is that I rented it, and it was a compilation of Bad. It was basically like the Bad CD, but put to a sort of a movie. And it starts with Bad, and then it goes into Speed Demon, and they have this whole claymation thing of him with the donkey head on, being chased by the fat cops, and then keeps going, and then he's fighting drug dealers, and he's protecting these kids from drug dealers. And at the very end, he transforms into like Mecha Michael Jackson. He's like Mecha Michael, like going like his sound waves are defeating the drug dealers. And then he turns into a spaceship and flies away. I didn't know what I was watching, but I loved it. It was incredible as a kid. And he transcended. And even despite the things that would happen later, which, you know, depending on how you look at it and whose reports you believe, he either did or he didn't. He was framed around me. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to do that here. But he is, like Buck just said, he's king of pop, and his songs left a footprint on society. And like Samuel said, you say Michael Jackson, the whole world knows who he is. Whole world, no question. And while you can probably say that to a limited way about Bowie, maybe Prince a little bit, and somewhat with Queen, it doesn't reach the levels of Michael. And as powerful a talent as Whitney Houston was with her voice, she didn't touch every part of the world. She didn't create massive upsurges of people wanting to take part in the culture of the music and stuff like that. People wanted to be Michael Jackson. People tried to moonwalk for decades.
Well, if you check the link in, you know, you can see how like much of an impact Michael Jackson had.
Yeah, let me see. Make sure this is. Oh, okay. Okay. That's the dude. All right, I will share this. I'll share this because that is funny. That is funny. All right, hang on a second. That is pretty good. Now this is, you said this is Sentai. This is out of
this is
out of Japan.
Power Ranger thing.
Straight out of Japan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Like does all the spins and everything.
Well, I mean, it's up right here. So because right here, I mean, you have to understand, Thriller was when Thriller came out, and this is before my time because I wasn't born yet, but afterwards. But you go back, you see it. No one had done a music video like Thriller at that point. Had they? Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
No, that was there were special circumstances for Thriller. They had I think it was Rick Baker helped had one of the guys out of Rick Baker's workshop went and did all of the practical effects for that same dude who did the practical effects for The Howling, and it was in the same year.
Okay.
You know, like this was like high end Hollywood movie budget shit.
Yeah.
You know, it was there hadn't been anything like that in a music video before.
Yeah. And I mean, how long is the whole, not just the music video, but the whole thing? How long is it? I don't remember. Like from the beginning through the song, like the date part, like how, what is it
to
like?
The epilogue.
Yeah. It's like 20 minutes or something like that. 20, 30 minutes. The whole thing.
Yeah. Something like that. Cause they did a whole little script and everything.
Yeah. Cause he goes, picks her up, and there's the build up. And then as they're walking home, the attack happens. And then you break into the actual song. I mean, I will say this Thriller is my favorite Michael Jackson song. I could say that without any hesitation whatsoever. I mean, I have a lot of favorites. Like right there, I love Smooth Criminal, a bunch of other ones I love too. But Thriller is my favorite. That is right. It is on one of my particular playlists that I listen to when I'm in a good mood, and I will always stop and I will sing it and do it, and do my voice will crack as I try to hit the notes and yell Thriller. But it's Ariel brings it up too. This also, when you think about going to bad, Weird Al, or even all the whole Michael Jackson catalog, Weird Al, his parodies of the Michael Jackson songs are hysterical. Eat It, Fat, there's a couple more in there, I think, but those are fantastic and funny, and that's and Michael was okay with that too, wasn't he? He was fine with it, I believe. Yeah.
Because you know what happened was people heard Weird Al's music, right? And they're just like, oh yeah, this beat's pretty good. Dude, who's he doing a parody of? Oh, this Michael Jackson cat. I'm gonna go check out his shit too. It was free advertising.
Yeah, and because no matter what, and what I've heard is the stories is that Michael was a perfectionist when it came to his performances. He wanted it to be perfect. He had an understanding of what it meant to give the crowd, to build anticipation, to build that fervor, and he knew how to feed off it and give it back. And you could see it in stuff like that. You could see it in Thriller. You could see it in Smooth Criminal. I know people have described what it was like to go to a concert, what an experience it was. So this is, I think, without a doubt, he is the one that you could say has the biggest impact on social pop culture zeitgeist out of all of them. Despite the fact that Queen has a lot of memorable stuff that is stuck in the zeitgeist forever. So does Bowie. So does Prince. Whitney with a couple things. But Michael Jackson was transcendent. He really was. And we'll never get a UHF. Okay, now that's a that's going off in Weird Al territory. Though I do love that movie. That was fun. See, there it is. All right, Legato says Prince didn't allow Weird Al to do any parodies. That's a shame. A couple of those might have been funny. Imagine if Weird Al had done a version of Purple Rain. That might have been funny. Probably would have been funny. Like that. Okay. That was nice. I appreciate that. All right. I want to go over this one before we go to our first discussion topic. I have now 3 planned. I might drop the trailer. We may not do that anymore. I might change my mind on that. But this weird thing popped up the past few days. And I know, since all 3 of us here do doom scroll on occasion, that we have seen this black dude with the microwave on his face in his morning ritual.
Oh,
what the hell is this?
I haven't seen this.
Oh, you haven't seen this?
I've seen it. I've also seen the guy get upset because people are like copying.
Oh, now they're parodying they're parodying the hell out of it. I've seen an Asian fat dude. I've seen another fat black dude. I've seen ugly people. They have now parodied the hell out of it. But all right, so Samuel, you haven't seen this. There's a couple different versions of it, but this is one that pretty much encapsulates the whole thing. So we will watch this for you now. Let's do this. So he sleeps with what I call the microwave on his face with his mouth taped closed.
Yeah, as one does.
Yeah. sure. Maybe if you're near Dermy, I don't know, it's protection. I don't know. But I don't get this. No, I'm not gonna take it. This dude's fit. I'm not gonna take that away from him. This dude clearly takes good care of himself. But now he's gonna groom himself. And he's got this chick in every video making him food. And not just food, but wait till you see what she does with the food. It's a little ASMR, isn't it? It's a little bit.
I don't know, man. They do all sorts of weird shit in the health area.
I mean, excuse me, a lot of those fruits, the juice is sticky. I don't want to plunge my face into sticky water juice fruit. I don't know. I don't know. And he's going to dress himself, or she's going to hand him stuff. Wait. Fruits open pores? Is that real?
I don't fucking care if it is. Like, look, here's the issue with this. Is like this guy got upset that people were parodying it. And it's like, look, dude, you're doing this like over dramatic like thing of like, oh, look how cool and awesome I am. It's like, you know what it is? It's just American Psycho, dude. You're doing the American Psycho thing, but without the narration.
Maybe. Yeah, that might be a good way to put it. Now, why? No, this bothers me. That really bothers me, dude.
Okay,
put some fucking socks on.
Yeah, why did you not have socks on?
I mean, I've once a long time ago I tried. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, jeez.
That's gonna cut the fuck out of the back of his ankles without socks.
Thank you. And not just that, but man, your feet are gonna stink. They're gonna sweat. They're gonna stink. That's why socks were invented. So
and then you
stink.
You will never get that smell out of those fucking loafers either.
Yeah. Socks stitching the shoes. I don't see it. Hold on. I don't see stock stitching to the shoes. I don't see it, Ariel. I don't see stock stitching to the shoes. And even so, they're still going to stink. Your feet are going to stink.
100%.
And
plus the discomfort, like, you know, when your bare skin is rubbing up against like fine leather like that, not only are you, it's like the edge of the back of the shoe is going to cut the fuck out of his his Achilles, and then he's going to end up with blisters both on his heels and on his toes that are it's going to be bad. It's going to be real fucking painful.
And I find this thing's already massively pretentious. It already is. But Deshaun goes, I drive a Lamborghini. Fuck yourself. All right. Fuck you, dude. I don't need to know you drive a fucking Lamborghini.
I could care less, guy.
Well,
like,
I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want, but I don't like the pretension.
Well, I mean, it's just that's all it is. It's just pretentious bullshit. It's like he's clearly bored, and he's like, you know what? I want to like flex. I want to do this like flex thing, you know. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of backfired because everyone just saw it's like, oh, it's just a rich dude that doesn't wear socks, that dumps his face in fucking fruit water, acting like he's got the best life in his routine, you know. It's like you're doing a ghetto fucking American Psycho. That's all it is.
And now he's gonna go to he's gonna put this thing right here. I can tell you, probably cost him $50 for this meal right here, which is of course not what it's worth. Spending $50, and then oh no, I don't want ice cream because I'm fit. Fuck you.
Why the fuck would you order it then, asshole?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Bug. I was just gonna say that. You just
I know why you ordered it.
So you could be like, no, I have.
Yeah, that's exactly why. It's because he could order it because he's showing off like, look, I have all this wealth and all this status, and I can do what I like, but I'm not going to touch that.
You know he didn't. I bet he did not tip him. I bet you. I bet he did not tip that fucking waiter.
Mm-hmm.
I bet he was like going in there and
Well-
he just like walks up to him and he says, "No, I don't want the ice cream." And the guy's like, "The fuck, dude."
And you look at this. It's restaurant's empty. What did he buy the place out so he can make his little video?
Oh, God.
Probably.
God, that would be.
If he's got that kind of money, this might just be a video.
Well, that might be a thing too. But Bug, you said he's really annoyed by this shit, the spoofing that's going on.
He's claiming that people are copying him. You know,
Of course they are. You're making fun of you, motherfucker.
yeah, because it's like, I mean, like, what do you expect? You pull up this American Psycho, like Patrick Bateman thing going off, where you look goofy as fuck, and you expect the internet to not have fun with it? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
and of course, and the internet's gonna do what it's gonna do. It's gonna make fun of the meme, and then it's gonna like run it in the ground pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one. Oh yeah, this was one of the good ones. There are several good ones out there. I should have collected them, but I forgot. I've seen a lot of good ones where they're making fun. Like he's got several of these too, where he's like jumping off a diving board and shit, and he's running next to a car. There's like several of these. And I would like to know who this dude is, honestly. Who is he that he thinks he could do this type of thing and we would care?
I could, you know what? I can kind of live without knowing about him. And to be fair,
Well, it's curiosity at this point. I'm just curious because, like you said, the internet did what the internet did, and they are making fun of him now, rightfully so. And I don't know. I don't understand this kind of culture behavior.
I would take it with a grain of salt though, because there was a rash of dudes a while back who would go and like rent like a Lamborghini Diablo or some shit like that, just so they could park it next to the seaside and take really awesome shots of them looking like they actually own the fucking car, and then they'd take it back, right? And they would put these posts up online and like on like Tinder or Instagram or wherever the fuck, just to make themselves look better. So I would take all of this with a grain of salt, because he might just be one of those guys who's just attempting to promote the lifestyle without actually having the lifestyle.
All right, so but that's kind of that is a very good point, and that brings up the idea of, remember, this is the internet. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. There's that too.
No.
But at the same time, it is why in the first place promoting the lifestyle. But why, if it's not your lifestyle, are you trying to then do this to make it your lifestyle?
Well, like I said, a lot of this shit was going up on Tinder, man. They were trying to hook chicks.
But he's got the woman servant, I guess. I don't know. It's I don't. Maybe it's because I'm not wired this way. I don't like to show off. I mean, and I don't like to draw attention to myself in public. Honestly, I don't. I like to just go about my business and not be seen.
Right.
And I don't get I guess I don't understand the mentality of everybody look at me, everybody see me, everybody recognize me. I don't understand that. I don't get that.
It just shows that he's very insecure about himself.
It's a good way to put it. All right, let's do another fun one before we get into this is a semi-discussion topic here. I was thinking about this. So this was a week of video games. A lot of stuff came out last week. We have, of course, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which we're not going to talk about. Don't worry, we're not talking about that. But I'm just another game that I have gotten and I'm going to be playing next week when I'm on the road is something to occupy myself during downtime. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I'm still working on Suikoden. Samuel, I am shamed. I almost got to the end game and I was missing 3 people, so I had to reload.
Wow.
I had to reload because well, here's the thing. The gossip chick Arnold, she doesn't work. She used to tell me if I was somebody who was hanging out someplace not related to the main storyline. She doesn't do it anymore. So I was going to her for like memory reference, and so I missed Sheena because I forgot about Sheena in the inn.
And
when I
you know what? I
remembered-
almost missed him too. I went back to look for something else in that tavern, and that's when I found him.
But I remembered when I remembered, it's like I couldn't get LaPont back in my party anymore. Fortunately, I had a save game from before a bunch of shit, but I'd already done the stream, so I had to kill the stream and go back and do a bunch of shit over. So I had to go back when I could keep LaPont in the party, go get him. I almost missed Clive because I forgot which town he was in for the inn.
Yeah.
I almost missed Sarah because I forgot soap isn't sold anywhere. You have to trade in the town. I had forgotten that. So I had to go back and do all that shit and get those 3. Now I'm fine. You know, I'm fine going into the last part of the game. All I get is Sonya, and then that's everybody. But I felt bad about that because I felt annoyed that I had to go back and do it. So, but I'm almost done with Suikoden 1. I'm going to be taking a break before we go into Suikoden 2 because I am, again, going out of town next week. So we can't dive right into that. But a lot of games came out. And as I'm watching everybody play various types of games, and there's a lot of indie games came out too, I had a thought that is constantly a desire, best way to put it, that comes back to me every, I would say, at least 3 or 4 times a year, where I'm watching a bunch of games, and I had a thought of, I wish a game like this existed. And I wanted to pose this to you guys tonight. I'm going to give you up to 3 things to choose because I don't want to lock you into a single type of genre, because I know that there are several types of games and genres that I would love to see emerge as a type of game. And I want to pose this to you guys, and I'll give you one of my first examples. I let's say I'm watching, and this usually happens when I'm watching an anime based on like a fantasy setting where somebody builds a group and then builds a town or something like this. I would love a simulation game, like a city builder, town builder, empire builder, say what you will, where I would start at like the lowest point of just being the rando hero who has dreams, build your party, but then build your town, and then build your territory, and then maybe build to a kingdom while still going on little adventures, but not have it be a whole scripted thing, but be like a generated thing where all these things kind of happen. Not even your companions are generated by the engine of the game, and where you not only go on adventures, but you still manage your town, your city, your territory, your kingdom, your empire. Eventually, I always want something like that in a fantasy setting, but no one ever makes something like that. At least not even parts of it too.
I mean,
ActRaiser 1 and 2.
ActRaiser 1. I remember
the,
1.
Well, the closest thing that I could that description fits is like the Civilization games, but that doesn't have the adventure parts.
And Civilization, it's not the same. That's just like your classic empire builder. It's one of the first ones. But I mean, I want something that's a good mix of those things, and it doesn't exist, and I keep always hoping it'll appear and scratch that itch in all those ways. But so that's my first one. I'll go around. What kind of game do you guys always want to see, but just isn't there for you? Like, and I know they're older. Like Sam mentioned, ActRaiser has a little bit of that, but I mean like something here and now that would be created brand new and unaffected by modern day agenda and politics. Like if you got the game you dreamed of, or just in multiple ways. No, don't lock in a single genre, because I have another one I'm going to go into in a minute here. But go ahead, throw one out there. You have a thought on this off the top of your head?
It's not really. It's not exactly. It's a little more vague, I guess. I could kind of try to be a little more specific, but it's like I'm always up for anything with the superhero game stuff, because it's like a particular niche market, I guess. Sure, you'll get your Batman Arkhams or your Spider-Mans here or there, but like I kind of want a little bit more. I feel we don't get a whole lot of them, and the games that do come out are not either bad or
they're limited. They're limited.
Yeah, they're limited in what they do. So like what I would want specifically is like a Punisher game that took the elements of like Far Cry and Doom and Just Cause, and kind of like let you have fun with it. Like I had this whole pitch of what a Punisher game should be, because I know there was that one with Thomas Jane from like ages ago that's banned and no one could play or whatever. But I want a new one where you put Frank in an island surrounded with a bunch of enemies to kill, and you just go nuts. Like I want to see Frank like pulling a fucking Rambo, where he's going through the trees, setting up traps, doing all this stuff, punishing, bad guys and in horrible, brutal ways, kind of like Far Cry. I have that fun. I want to play a guy that can, I don't know, like scare the living shit out of people and have it to back up. I know Batman kind of had that, but I want something a little more visceral, kind of like in Far Cry. There would be like a thing where, at least in the first one or the second one or whatever, one of the early ones, where it's like the more you progress down the story, the world reacted to it. Like the NPCs would start to kind of react to your actions, like the legend. At first, it's like, oh, it's just some crazy dude, doing stuff, and then it gets to a certain point that all their dialogue is like, oh god, that guy hit us again. It's like, you mean that crazy motherfucker? Yeah. Oh man, I heard he eats hearts and stuff. It's like, what? I want that kind of vibe. I want to play a Punisher game where, as you play it, the more, depending on what stuff you do, like the world reacts to it. So say if you went to an outpost and all you did was just knife people and you didn't set off an alarm, I want it to be like, however long down the road, you hear some dialogue from NPCs go like, oh, that outpost got taken out by Frank and no one heard a thing. Like it was like a ghost went through there, That's kind of what I want. I want a game where it feels like you did something and the world reacts, like you're a presence. It's not just arbitrary, oh, you unlocked outpost, there you go, checkpoint, done. But that's kind of it.
You want, it sounds like you want a Punisher game.
I really do.
With it's a fully interactive open world, sort of semi-open world setting, not too open world. Not too
open world. I'm kind of trying to be a little more restrained because
semi-open world.
Semi-open world, like a big island thing, because in my pitch was like that Frank would be going after one of his bad guys and finds out they're hooked up with Hydra and they're on this island, and then you can interact with different characters that would be there, like Black Widow or Nick Fury or whatever.
You want it to be an interactive world that basically, for lack of a better term, choices matter.
I want it to be like your choices matter, and not in like, oh, pick this dialogue choice. I want it to be like
your actions.
Yeah, your actions. I want it to be like if you brutally murder a man and like hang him by his intestines, I want the NPCs to go, you hear what they did to Jerry? Like, oh god. I want something kind of like that. And the closest semi thing they tried was in Far Cry, or the terrible attempt in Last of Us 2 when they have characters react to you shooting their friends. But that's like, that's what I really want. I want to play as Punisher and feel like, Punisher has an effect on the setting he's in, through the gameplay, not in just some story section or whatever, because you can fiddle with that, whatever. I want the world to react to however you do it,
Yeah, I can understand that completely. I understand that. All right, Samuel, you got anything yet?
I mean, the kind of games I like kind of already exist, so it's not really been an issue for me. But if I was going to do something like that, because well, I mean, like I'm playing Bloodborne right now as we speak. This is probably one of my favorite games ever made. It's got all kind. The only thing I would add to it is the ability to actually fucking jump. That would be good. But otherwise,
Otherwise, like I love this fucking game. But Bug kind of inspired me a little bit. I wouldn't mind having a superhero game of some kind, like, because there's never been a decent Superman game. Superman's been in decent games, but there's never been a decent Superman game, right? So I would like something along those lines, but not, it doesn't have to be Superman, but like you're playing a character with powers like that going up against some, other superpowered beings, except that I would like the kind of real-time physics and environmental damage that you got in games like what was that one that took Red Faction, right? If you guys remember Red Faction.
I never played it. I know of it, I just never played it.
So in Red Faction, you can make a door if there's no door just by fucking shooting the goddamn wall.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So like that kind of thing. So like when you punch somebody through a building, they go through the building. It does structural damage to the building, kind of thing. That would be cool.
Okay, so you want a game where you're say Superman or someone of that caliber with a destructible world, so that way when you hit a motherfucker, you want to be able to just play like the scenes from Invincible where you're just fighting people through buildings.
Pretty much. Yeah. Dude, if I pick up a fucking semi full of fucking gasoline and I chuck it at a bank, that bank had better goddamn explode.
Yeah.
That
would be God, honestly, a whole game with that kind of mindset would be cool.
Not even obviously you can't do this with an MMO because of the way that environments work in those and all of the various people having to see all the same shit all the time. But something like DC Universe Online, but with those physics, with the fully destructible environment kind of thing. It doesn't have to be a massive multiplayer online game either. It could just kind of have a similar open world.
Yeah, that's why I wanted like because my next one is an MMO wish, but I'll let you finish what you're saying on that one.
So because I mean I played DCO for like 11 years, dudes. I did like the game once upon a time, and you could do all kinds of cool superhero shit in it, but what you couldn't do was affect the environment in any way.
That I guess that currently leads in my next one. That's why I gave multiple choices here. We know, like you, I'm an MMO player. I've been an MMO player since 2003. I've played many an MMO different times, mostly fantasy based, occasionally a couple of science fiction ones like Star Wars. But as I look at the field, the MMOs right now, the genre itself, as much as I'd still love to go back occasionally to Final Fantasy XIV, I do it for the story. I do it for the enjoyment of the world itself because it's so alive. It's so beautiful to play in. As much as I will occasionally, especially if they do bring up a Mac version, they're talking about Mac servers for it. I'd like to go back to SWTOR because I love being in a real Star Wars environment. I love all my characters in those because there's a lot of freedom to make those characters. The character creation and ability to really bring individual characters to life in SWTOR, one of the best glamour systems ever to just make your character look awesome. Problem is, I look at the landscape of MMOs, and I've been saying this for years before I met you guys. It's stagnated. There's nothing new. It's the same shit over and over again. There's no life in the genre anymore. And the MMO I dream of right now, and I think they tried it with PAX Day, and it hasn't really worked from what I understand. We're coming up on that thing being out almost a year now since it's left early access finally last year, is I would like to go into MMO, preferably a fantasy setting, where yes, there's a story in there, but it's kind of melded into a truly vibrant and evolving world where you can go out there and make your own way in it. Play the game how you want to play it. Do what you want to it. You're not locked into anything. The game would generate items and ideas and quests all on its own, a living engine in there to create a truly living world to experience, not just locked into the same routines over and over again. Oh, we're going to do these dungeons. We're going to do these. We're going to do these raids. Oh, here's the same event over and over again. Oh, this and that. That's like an MMO dream of mine, and I feel like we need another level up in gaming technology, maybe even internet technology to make it happen. So
what you're describing, it sounds like a very heavily modified equivalent of the Nemesis system from Shadow of War, because
that's one way to put it into it. Something like that, where it's a living entity. The game takes on a living entity. I forget what it was called. It was years ago when I watched this particular anime, which is what sparked this thought of me. It was an anime where it's, of course, in the future of the world. It's not present day, where this dude logs into a virtual reality MMO, and it literally, the world evolves around them. You could do what you want. You find things. That's what inspired me. If I remember the name right now, I would tell you, but I don't remember what it was called. It only had 12 episodes, so it wasn't a mega success. I enjoyed it for what it was, though. But like, you'll kill a creature, and if you kill it, it's not going to just drop the same items all the time. A new item might drop in, like special gauntlets or a special sword or something. I want that kind of world where I can invest my time, have it mean something, and always be surprised. Never the same shit. As much as I love raiding, it gets boring raiding the same dungeons over and over again, waiting for more content to come out from developers. But if they somehow reach the new level of game engines, and for lack of a better term, game AI that could generate this stuff, that's like an ultimate dream of mine for an MMO. And I don't know when or how or if it will ever come to be in this current day, or if I'll ever live to see it. And that is what I really want deep down. I'd want even more than like a strategy simulation game. That's what I would want, that even more.
Yeah, it would be nice to kind of get something like that, because that does sound pretty fun to have, like, something to react to. I think that's sort of like I think that's just the general connection we've got with all of our ideas. We just want a game, no matter what the circumstances are, is just one that more or less reacts to you. Like, your choices actually matter, and not in like the Telltale way or some choice-based RPG way, more of the gameplay. Like, whatever you did in this fucking section of the map, you have the world react to it in a organic way.
I want to be a part, let's say, the same fantasy I'm in. I live in this kingdom in the game. I do my stuff. I've got my friends, my guild. I want the game to decide, okay, guess what? Goblin army's coming your way. World, deal with it. Repercussions of what happens, no matter what. You're either going to stop it, or it's going to destroy the area and change the game. That's an event, a real event that has lasting repercussions, not just, oh, here's game event, oh, it's gone. Did you get your items? Yay, we'll see you next year.
Yeah,
so wasn't that the idea behind what was the name of that the Defiance, the tie-in game to that sci-fi TV show?
Yeah,
wasn't that kind of the idea behind that? Was it real events that happened in the show would directly affect, impact, and forever change the world in the game, and vice versa? I mean, it didn't work, obviously, but that was the plan.
I think so, because they even brought in they had the characters from the show in the game.
Yeah,
you could interact with them. I never played it because after the first season, I was done with that show, and that was the same time.
I liked the show, but I didn't play the game.
Probably those are the same people that made the game Rifts, the MMO Rifts. And that game screwed me the fuck over. And I was like, I'm not buying any games from these assholes again. Fuck that game. Yeah. Fuck those developers. But I think they tried that, but that was a bad idea, because then if you don't watch
logistically
the show,
couldn't work at the time.
Yeah. So I would just love the idea that, oh, here comes a special event, one time only. And that's also the thing. And maybe I'm being influenced by stuff like other anime. I admit a lot of these thoughts are influenced by anime. I'm a weeb. It's just what it is. Like the Dot Hack series took place in a virtual MMO, and there were events in that prior to the actual game becoming what the anime show becoming what it was. But in the lore of it, something happens and you're the one that has involved in the quest. and you get the unique item that no one else is going to get, or you get the title that no one else is going to get. And I think that's something that would be really great in this type of game that I'm thinking of. Is something happens, and if you're the person that beats it first, that's it. This quest will not repeat. That is your achievement and your achievement only. And that goes on your record. It's your item, it's your title, it's your this or that you got as a reward. And I want that. I want that, but I know I'm not going to get it because all the MMO people are either locked into the routines or they're too afraid. At the same time, we're locked into people are afraid to go back to subscription-based games. The free to play game system it never worked. It didn't work. It won't work because the developer's never going to really make enough money to produce the high quality game. You need to go back to a pay to play. I don't mean by pay to play. I don't mean like pay to win. I just pay to subscribe to play. Like, I mean, that's why 14 may be down, but it still works.
Well, it's
still working.
It inevitably goes back to the fucking pay to win thing, though, doesn't it?
No, because there are no in Final Fantasy 14, your money, only time you pay money is for glamour shit. You can't buy your way to victory in that.
Right, but I mean, typically in that kind of in like an MMO setting, usually at some point the microtransactions become the point, not the game.
Well, if the microtransactions depends on the game. Like if it's a microtransactions where it's just a glamour shop, or just for extra, like SWTOR for an example, the cartel market, you can buy experience boosts because they give you a god awful amount of character slots to make. So if you want to fast track and experience stuff to get there, that's about it. But there's nothing that actually gives you an advantage. The microtransactions are all for your own personal glamour enjoyment. At least the games I've always played, there's never been a pay to win thing going on. Now there are games out there that are like that. I know there are. And that's not right. I've never believed in pay to win. But subscription based and in microtransactions, it's always going to happen. It is a part of it. I think until they stop being afraid to do something new, they're just stuck making the same type of games because there hasn't been a revolutionary MMO. I mean, there was one that was supposed to be out there, Pantheon: Rise of the Fallen. Over a decade ago, it was announced. Right when I came back from China, I found out about it, and I found out it had already been in works for a couple of years. And some people I knew that were going to get into it, and we thought, oh man, it's going to be out any minute. And it was going to be something like this, where it was a set world, but the world itself would evolve around you a little bit. Hidden dungeons would spawn on their own, stuff like that. It wasn't originally going to have a locked-in class-based system, but then the dude who was in charge of it, who was a famous developer, he Minecrafted himself. And after that, at the time, they then started to dumb it down for normies. And now that game's been in limbo for years. It's been in limbo for over a decade. So it's probably never going to come out. Another example, did you guys hear the anime MMO Blue Protocol? Briefly?
No, never heard of it.
It was being done by, I think it was Konami. It was the Capcom. I think it was Konami or Capcom. I think it was Konami. And it was going to be JP only, but then it wasn't. And they were going to put it out through Amazon. Problem is, it collapsed before it even came out because they had this great idea of basically self-generated dungeons, stuff like that. But they came out with classes that were so boring and unimaginative, and the anime graphics really weren't that great. But then what killed it for me is when they started to describe what the raids are going to be like. And I think the game actually has come out now. It actually did get picked up by somebody else when it failed on Amazon. Boss in a box rating, like Final Fantasy 14, which is like one of my major criticisms of Final Fantasy 14, where, oh, you're doing this, we're just going to drop you right in the boss room and fight. There's no dungeon crawl, no nothing. And that just killed it for him. Like, wow, okay, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And they talked about freedom of creation, and I was like, yeah, with weapons and crafting and this and that, and they backtracked on it all. To me, it looked like, and so it seems like they are about to do stuff, but then somebody always steps back. And Ariel mentions No Man's Sky. All right, listen, I was one of the people that got bamboozled when it first came out. So somebody's got static going on here. I'm hearing static. So somebody check it.
Me? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm hearing some background reverberation in my headphones. Okay, it's gone now.
Yeah, I hear it too. I'm muted, but
okay, so Bug, it might be you.
Oh, okay.
Might be you. Just mute yourself for a second. Yeah, it was you. Yeah, it was you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, is your phone near your computer or something?
I don't know.
Okay.
I had it. My phone's
it's
on
gone.
silent.
It's gone now. Now it's gone. Yeah. Well, yeah. We can't blame Static. He's not here. Anyway, so I was one of the people that got bamboozled by No Man's Sky in the beginning, and that was, as I mentioned, that was right after China. I needed something like that to basically lift me up, keep me busy, keep me from being borderline depressed and doom and gloom. And I thought that was going to be it. And to be ripped off like that in the beginning, I don't care how much they've done to make it truly interactive, to make the game they promised, to make it all for free. Part of me will never forgive them. And I don't want to invest in that again because I got screwed over in the beginning. And I mean, and No Man's Sky, I don't think it's not so much an MMO, just a really big co-op game.
Yeah, I kind of, I feel you kind of there, Adam, on like that, not giving the guy a second chance after getting bamboozled
because I was to us.
Yeah, I was.
It was the lies that get.
Yeah, I kind of was like that with Cyberpunk for a while, like because at launch it was like not really what was advertised. It was a fucking broken ass shit show. And yeah, sure, it took they, more or less patched it up enough and gave it enough tweaks, and it's an all right game now. But obviously, I'm not going to forget the initial sting, even though I liked the game in its current state. I like that, but you can't quite get over that little initial wound. That initial bitch slap.
Right?
No. And all the power to the creator and the continuous mea culpa he's been doing, and people who enjoy it, I'm glad, but I hold a grudge, and it would take a lot for me to give that game a second chance.
Adam's petty like that.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Listen, I made the retarded one time when I first started looking for jobs. At one point, I actually said on a questionnaire, I hold grudges. He said that like a fucking idiot, and of course I didn't get the job, but it was just like, yeah, I am petty that way. Screw me over and I'm gonna remember it, and unless you come to me personally and apologize, I'm not going to give you a second chance. Like, I've had people who have screwed me over and have come to me and said, I'm sorry for what I did. I was wrong when I did this. Can we start over? And I've said, yes, let's start over. I can be a bigger man like that. But if you just come back to me and like pretend like it never happened, no, I'm going to flip you off and tell you to go take a leap off a building or go hug Dermy or something. I don't know.
Oh, that was basically me in high school. I had a lot of people that picked on me during like my
I got bullied heavy.
Yeah, my 7th and 8th grade year, I got picked on a lot, and once I got to high school, I didn't care what they said. If they would say hi, oh hey, hi, how you doing? I immediately just say fuck you or flip them off, and they'd go, why are you being so mean to me? And I just would not give them the time of day. Anytime they even talk to me, I just whip out the fuck bomb because it's like, no. You treated me like shit for 2 years. Now you want to act like, oh, we're friends now? Fuck you.
Yeah, I understand.
I held that grudge for a while.
Man, listen, I understand that. I got the bully treatment for my middle school years hard, and I will never forgive those assholes my entire life. Anyway, but yeah, I in this current era of gaming where it's going, I don't expect anything right now. I expect nothing. I will enjoy a good game if it comes out, if it happens to be good, but I'm not going to hang my hopes that I'm ever going to get, at least in the near future, likely at least this decade, the games that will truly sing to me. I mean, out of all of them, I would want the MMO the most. That's the one I would want the most. That super evolving, interactive MMO world. That's what I would want in a fantasy setting.
Yeah, I would really want to get the Punisher thing. You know, even if I don't get everything on the list, or if I get just enough of it, I think I'd be happy. But then again, I'm pretty desperate for anything in that superhero game like need, because the options are ever since the Wonder Woman game got canned, like the pickings are gonna get a little slim, and now it's a matter of, are any of these games even gonna come out, because it's a pretty short list. I think there's only like 7 games at this moment that are still kind of getting around the block, and I think only maybe 2 of them are going to come out, like, actually. I think the closest one is the Captain America and Black Panther
that one is coming out. It looks like that one is coming out.
Yeah, and that one I have some hopes for, because it's Amy Hennig and all that, so she's got a little bit of my faith in there. I hope that's good. But some of the other stuff is like, I either don't know enough about it, or I know too much about it, like Wolverine.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wolverine's coming out. You're ready? Hey, let me ask you this: how's Marvel Rivals doing? How's that doing? I haven't heard anybody talk about that for a while.
I'd say it's been pretty healthy. I think they've kind of gotten themselves in a good rhythm. They'll release some skins every other week or two. And I think in another month or so they'll release a new character.
In Blade, the next character?
I don't. Well, I mean, they're teasing it. I mean, because his model is in the game.
I just go with what I see on the social medias.
Yeah, they haven't really elaborated on who's going to be around, but because even they said, yeah, all those characters that got data mined, some might be in there, some might not. So they could do kind of anything. From what I heard, I think they might be going for X-Men characters, because there's been a lot of. Yeah, I think they're gonna start. Apparently, I guess Emma Frost and Jean Grey might be the next one.
Emma would definitely be a tank. She'd definitely be a tank.
Yeah, so there could be some fun stuff there, but it definitely seems like Rivals is in a healthy kind of area where it just doesn't need to. It's not need to break the bank. It's got its audience. It knows what to do.
That's good. That's good.
Honestly, I'm just waiting for when they introduce, because on the leaked list, supposedly Captain Marvel is in on it, and I'm like, okay, I know what it's like. I know I feel it in my bones. I know what they're gonna do. Yeah. They'll have the Captain Marvel skin as the default, obviously. That's how it is. But they'll do the same thing that they did with Invisible Woman. They'll release the proper Miss Marvel outfit.
Miss Marvel. Ms. Marvel. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, will they swap it and put out actual Marvel? I doubt it, but okay.
Yeah, no.
That'll be the most popular one, the actual.
That if they do what they did with Invisible Woman, where they had the regular skin, which was pretty good, but they gave her the Malice skin, which was super sexy body.
Spank me, mommy.
Yeah, that shit. If they do that, it's I know that would be the way they would do it. Because it's oh yeah, we'll have the regular skin, that's cool and all, whatever. But then we'll have the special skin that you gotta pay money for. It's yes.
All right, Samuel, what does this mean? Small meat fry. Need special. What's going on here? She says you'll know.
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's probably a sex thing.
I mean, is this something from something else? I don't know. Am I missing a joke here?
It might be. I'm drawing a blank right now, Ariel. Sorry.
It is Ariel, and she spreads her sexual desires across many a stream. So
honestly, it was probably something I said on Saturday. She was in my chat on Saturday giving me shit. So
Ariel, of course they're going to recruit more boobs and ass. They're
oh,
Chinese
right.
heads.
cannibalism. What are we talking about? Dermy now? Because he's the only cannibal. I know.
No, we had a whole discussion about cannibalism and which of us in our circle on the internet would get eaten first by me.
Oh.
Now is this
Yeah,
like
well,
being eaten by
had-
Eldritch, or you just in general?
No, I mean, like if we were stuck in the fucking mountains with no other recourse, which of you I would kill and eat first?
Oh.
Who's
so what was the
who's
list?
the unlucky bastard?
I want to know.
Probably Static, because he's very tall. There's a lot of long meat on that boy. And I was on with Anna and Gal, and they're both, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna eat the chicks first." I was like, "No, I'm not, because they're both tiny women. There's not enough meat on them."
And you're not going
to sustain me.
And you're not going to say Dermy because there's so much fat in that, man. So much fat.
Yeah, I mean, he probably tastes better than Static, but I need lean meat to get me through the winter.
You know what? That just reminded me. That just reminded me of that scene in Blade Trinity where there's those vampires that are like looking around at the train station for someone to eat, and they see a fat guy. They're like, "No, I don't want to eat him. He'll taste like Cheetos."
Right?
Oh man. Cannibalism.
Yeah.
Usually it's
Hey,
like
Static,
Dermy. He's like, I'll eat everybody.
It's nothing personal, man. You're like 3 inches taller than I am.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to even think about cannibalism, honestly. I don't even want to think about it. I hope I'm never in that situation.
I mean, the what was it, that soccer team that landed in the Andes Mountains, they probably didn't want to think about that either.
Yeah.
Or the Donner Party, that wasn't their intention either. It happened. Did you know that Newfie whaling tradition actually has a bunch of like very, very strict maritime rules about cannibalism?
No.
As in, who you can eat, how to kill them, how to prepare them, and all that stuff. Because, people would sometimes get stuck out at sea and they'd run out of food. And I mean, if somebody was going to make it back, somebody had to be eaten.
Huh.
I feel like we've gone down a road that we shouldn't have.
Went down the fucking road the Donner Party went down.
Adam, I got to get you back on the Saturday show at some point.
Oh man, this is like I feel like it's like the time. Hey, come on the show. Hey, Static says, hey, yeah, come on pregame, and then Pizzagate, and I was like, I want to gouge my eyes out. Like I don't like hearing any of this right now. This is
right.
This is altering my mind in a way I don't need it altered.
Yeah, I understand, man, and it's not a pleasant thing for any of us to think about. I just believe in being prepared, and by that I mean Static being prepared very carefully. I'm just fucking with you, Static. There are plenty of people in my immediate area that I would probably eat before any of you guys. So,
oh my goodness, I love everything.
He's 3 states away. I'm not fucking driving that far for a a manwich.
My manwich. Oh boy. All right, we've had our fun, and now I want to have a discussion. One more discussion tonight. I'm going to push off the trailer. I'll either do a reaction myself tomorrow or maybe rope Jeremy into it or something. Okay, so Star Wars.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm probably in our immediate network circle of friends, I'm the biggest Star Wars guy, biggest Star Wars fan. I know that's not that people love it, but they don't love it as much as I do. But there is one thing we can definitely talk about, and it is the fact that the impact and the meaning of the at least for this part of conversation, we can focus on that, the original trilogy. Okay. And I mentioned it earlier, at least once a year, the freaking stands, the Disney Star Wars stands, somebody somewhere will, whether it's them or not, will bring up Star Wars in politics. And right away, the stands in mass, and it's always the same motherfuckers over and over again, will always go, Star Wars was always political. It was always political.
In-world politics are not the same as real-world politics, and allegory is not the same as smashing you in the face with a fucking agenda.
Thank you.
I don't believe in the all politics. Everything has been political from people who can't tell the difference between Metal Gear and a Family Guy joke.
And that's the point. There's politics and there's political themes. And right now, during this going on right now, these geniuses think they have the winner. They dig up, and this is one of those retard accounts, Star Wars Facts. George Lucas on politics, this is what they think. Because here's the one that started it recently. Anyone who thinks George Lucas is a political writer is not a serious person. This is the one that started it a week or so ago, okay? And they all come out of the woodworks, and this guy thinks he gets the own, bringing up George Lucas talking about his inspiration. So let's listen to this, and I'm going to ask your opinion on it. So let's listen to what George has to say.
The story, the political backstory was written 30 years ago. It was written during the Vietnam War and in the Richard Nixon era.
Now he's talking about the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, but in general.
Okay.
I didn't want to do a movie about how people take over democracy. I wanted to figure out how democracies give themselves over to tyrants. And, like after the Roman Senate killed Caesar, why did they turn the whole thing over to his nephew? Here's an interesting thing about democracy is if you don't treat it well, if you don't do your job, especially if you're a representative in the Senate or the Parliament or whatever, the whole thing can go awry, because if you're always bickering and not agreeing on things and doing the people's work who elected you, a tyrant will come in and take over and do it for you, because the people want to get the job done, and they will tend to go where the person who's got the most leadership is. The story, the political.
Okay, so in what he just said, did you hear anything in that about politics? I heard political themes, political history.
Yeah,
I didn't hear politics. Go ahead, Bug.
Yeah, the way he describes it, it sounds more of a cautionary tale of like how you lead. Like how because like he describes it like, oh yeah, you gotta have rulers who are not just always bickering, otherwise there's gonna be some guy, in this case Palpatine, who sneaks in, he'll take over. That's what it is. It just looked more of a cautionary tale, and he says he was inspired by Nixon and Vietnam and all that, which is like, okay, that's what it was. He was inspired by that, and he incorporated it in the theme. Like it's more of a just like be careful, like cautionary tale. That's all I got. It wasn't like, oh, political, whatever.
And that's the point. He's not saying, I believe in this political theory, I believe in that political theory, and I've woven it into every aspect of my creation so that you're hammered over the head by my political beliefs. Because, Samuel, the original trilogy, let's go through each of them right now. A New Hope. Is there an ounce of politics in A New Hope?
I would say that there's probably some, but it's mostly it's mostly like military politics, like the meeting where Vader and the various Imperial military guys are sitting around a table discussing stuff. There's political stuff going on there, but it's in world politics. It's not, like if you wanted to find an allegory, you could probably look at maybe because let's face it, they're space Nazis. One of Hitler's war councils or something like.
All that on
yeah,
there.
It's essentially like Goebbels, arguing with Himmler at the table.
Mm-hmm. But
right?
That's still a theme. That's not.
Sure.
This is what I believe, and I'm making you listen to what I believe. I'm not preaching at you through this movie. There's the difference. You're describing a political scene of how this political structure, this government, how the Moffs and Tarkin and Vader are bickering. That's just an example of how something would happen in a room of politicians like that, or in this case, military governors.
Right.
It's
It's like
not
something you
saying,
see at the Pentagon with the Joint Chiefs.
but it's not. As I said, it's not saying I believe in fascism or I believe in this. I believe in that. These are
No, not
my
at all.
ideological beliefs. It's not there at all. But is there any of that in A New Hope at all? Outside of again, in the beginning, when you hear that Palpatine has dissolved the Imperial Senate.
No,
And he is,
man. There's more
yeah.
religious context than there is political
Okay,
context.
okay, that's a different discussion. That's a whole different discussion
Yeah.
with that. But we're staying on the politics thing. So, but there's none in the New
But
Hope. Go,
Again, that would be in world though too. It's not
Mhm.
like they're saying, "Hey, we support this specific religion." They're saying,
Yes.
"Hey, there's this religion that exists in the movie, and there are adherents to it, but there's only a few left." And it's
Yeah.
about it's essentially about a boy discovering religion, actually.
Different discussion. Different discussion. Different discussion. But my point is, though, it's not saying George Lucas, who is probably a man of the left. Let's not fool ourselves here. We're not going to pretend that he's, as the jokes go, wearing a MAGA hat and busting down doors and saying, "I'm going to save Star Wars from Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger." Not do that. But he never injected whatever his personal beliefs are into the movie. He simply, as he says here, used the template of real world events, whether it is the events of World War II or the events of Vietnam, and said, "I'm going to use this structure of how something went and tell a story in that framework of reality, of political history, and how these things continually play out." So in A New Hope, no actual agenda, ideological politics are in play. True or false?
I would say probably false. They were telling a story. They weren't trying to. That's what I'm getting at. Is like the real world stuff wasn't present. Like, yeah, he was drawing allegory to real world events, historical. That's sure, but he was telling his story, the story he wanted to tell, and the politics that exist in that universe belong to that universe.
To make a perfect example, 1977 to 1983, there was no representation of Jimmy Carter in A New Hope. There was no representation of Ronald Reagan in Empire or Jedi. There was
no representation of Nixon.
No representation of Nixon in the prequel trilogy, which is this is what he's directly talking about here. I mean, so let's move on to Empire Strikes Back. Is there any real world political ideologies injected into that? In fact, there's nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't wasn't it right around the 70s when?
No, 80. Empire is 80.
Okay, so wasn't the Black Panther Party kind of big right around that time, or was that earlier?
That's earlier.
Okay, so it wouldn't. So there was no representation of the Black Panther Party.
No,
but Lando.
No. Lando's capitalism. Lando's capitalism.
And honestly, nobody saw Lando was black. They just saw him as Lando.
We saw Billy D. Williams with a Colt 45. That's what we saw. But there's no politics, not even an ounce of politics in Empire Strikes Back. It's all friendship, betrayal, somewhat little business, and training and belief. It's still, to Samuel's point, a lot more of the expansion on the idea of the faith aspect, believing in the Force, trusting in the Force, stuff like that, but no politics. So we're 2 movies into the original trilogy now, and there is no political agenda on display. And now Return of the Jedi. I asked the same question. Any political agenda on display in Return of the Jedi?
No. I give the same answer. It's there's more focus on religion in that movie than there is on politics. The politics were really not on display. I mean, at that point, they were past the point of talking about shit anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the war was in full swing. So political shit didn't come into it. It was like, you're on this side or you're on that side, and one of us has to die. That's it.
And there's the point. In the original trilogy, politics is not even at play in anything. So these people who say Star Wars is always political, there is no politics in the original trilogy. Not really. No discussion, no nothing. You get a little bit of political theming in A New Hope, but it fades away as the stories become character-driven and other aspects that we just mentioned. Now we go to the prequel trilogy. Samuel, hold on to your chair. I know you. I know what you're going to think. Prequel trilogy, jam packed with political themes. What he gently described in this conversation, or because he was directly talking about the prequel trilogy, political themes, but no ideology. In Phantom Menace, where's the ideology? I mean, we've got
no ideology because it was
talk
mostly
about trade.
Yeah.
We talk about elections. We talk about a vote of no confidence and stuff like that. But that's a political process, and that's showing corruption in politics. It's not saying this is what I believe. I believe in this party. I believe in that party. I believe in this ism. I believe in that ism. No, it's not there.
Yeah, no, because it was just a simple. It was more or less a simple story about like, hey, here's this region Naboo was getting taken over by this big faction, and they go out to the government to be like, hey, can you help us? But the process is too slow. And it's like, if anything, it was just a lesson of, hey, don't rely on the fucking government to help you out. Like, fix your own problem.
And at the same time, it's now setting the stage for here comes the tyrant he mentions, as the tyrant is now slowly manipulating the corruption of the government in order to take control and take over, i.e. Palpatine, Sidious. Okay, Attack of the Clones. That's war. That's not politics. That's war.
Well,
it's not ideology.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
I'm having trouble remembering is Order 66 and Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the Sith. That's Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, aside from the various factions like backbiting each other and trying to get one up on each other, which is politics, but it's not. Again, it's not an insertion
ideology
of real world politics into the material so much as it is an exploration of what's happening in that world due to the various circumstances and factions.
It's not ideology. It's not agenda, and it's simply what happens when a world is manipulated into a conflict so somebody can grab power. That's still a political theme. A dictator, an emperor, an overlord consolidating his power through destruction and breaking things down. Okay, Revenge of the Sith. This is the corruption complete, the takeover. And their favorite line they always love to pull out is Padme going, "This is how democracy falls," to thunderous applause.
Well, it's true, but
yes, but it's still a political theme.
It's a political theme, and as like George says, like if your leaders are too busy bickering to solve a problem, there's gonna come a guy who's gonna come in and they'll vote for that guy because and that's what it was. It was like all the culmination of everything going on. Palpatine like doing his 4D chess moves, finally got to the point, and like. With Order 66, he kicked that off, riled up the people, to it, and, provided them, the solution. Hey, set me in place as your permanent leader, and none of this crazy shit that happens is going to happen again. There you go.
He uses the Jedi as a scapegoat. And I mean, he does all the classic things a dictator does, but it's still political themes. It's not, as Samuel keeps saying, it's not real world politics. It's not real world agendas and ideologies on display. It's not George telling you this is what I believe and you need to like what I believe. You need to believe what I believe. It's none of that. So we've gone through the 6 movies that George made. There is not an ounce of what the stands always say. Star Wars is always political. We haven't found a single evidence of where it's what they call political, of real world agenda injected into here, because you have to believe that George is all for everything that I'm for because I believe in this ideology. No, it's not there.
Yeah, because it's
not there.
Because these people want to they want to taint the very word of politic, because that's what it is, because there's a very distinct difference between political themes, which was what was George doing, and the political ideology, which is like what later shit stuff we get now is, where it's just like it
What
has the
Ryan
subtlety
Johnson
of a
does, what Kathleen Kennedy does, what
where it has
all
the
of them do.
subtlety of a brick going in your face.
Yeah, I won't say that Jar Jar Abrams does it because he's just a hack and he just copies what other people does. But there is ideology in what Kathleen Kennedy pushes into Disney Star Wars. Dave Filoni, he does it in everything he does. All of them for all the Disney Star Wars shows, it's all in there. I've reviewed a lot of it. You can go back and watch it. I pointed out. You can't point any of those things out in George Lucas Star Wars because it's not there. So now this particular topic I brought up for this, it's never going to go away because there are always going to be retards who believe that Star Wars is always political. Because like you guys have made it very clear, they can't see the difference. To them, everything, their whole world's political because they're steeped in their ideology. They're steeped in their broken belief systems. That if you don't believe what I believe, you're my enemy, and we can never reach compromise. We can never discussion. Of course, there is no compromise with a commie. You take a commie about Outback and you introduce them to a hot barrel. But when it comes to actual normal political discussion, that's how things actually work when compromise happens. And that is not what people like who say Star Wars is political believe. They believe you have to do what I say, and if you don't, I'm going to call you all sorts of names. And I'm going to try and make sure that you get canceled and suffer because you don't believe my ideology, and you're my enemy. And I'm going to call you what likely I actually am. So I hate it that we have to keep revisiting this, but this is what it is. These people are broken. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. It's like, yeah, George might be a bit of a lefty. So was Rod Serling. So was Gene Roddenberry,
Yes.
right? But they still managed to present you with something that allowed you to draw your own conclusions if you chose to look at it from an allegorical point of view. If you didn't, it still presented an interesting conundrum, and they never presumed to tell you what to think. None of these guys did. Never presumed to tell you what to think or which side to pick, which is the problem. That's the problem right there, is that the new people are absolutely telling you what the side is that you need to be on, and that's first of all, that's shit storytelling.
I can sum this up pretty easily. George Lucas just didn't take his dirty laundry to work. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's that's what we are getting at. We're getting people bringing their dirty laundry to work, and we have to see the fucking skid marks. Like that's why there's a saying: don't bring your laundry to work, man. No one wants to see the skid marks. No one wants to see the dirty shirts and the used socks, man. Like, I don't want to see that here. Like, they left that shit at home. George Lucas left that at home. He can do whatever politic thing he wants on his own time or whatever. But when it came down to, like, writing the story, he left that shit at home.
And the perfect example of someone who didn't, Leslie Headland. She brought all her shit into the Acolyte. Every goddamn ounce of it.
Every skid mark in the fucking world.
Every bruise, broken bone, every bit of propaganda she could squeeze into that show. She brought it in there. God. Yeah, that's an excellent way to put it. These creatives, like Samuel said, Roddenberry, they believed certain things, but they also believed in entertainment and putting out a good product. As did George.
They were actually creative too. I might add.
Oh yeah, and they understood that after a certain point that what I've created will be lasting, and therefore I want it to be timeless. It comes back to a discussion we've had in the past. What George Lucas created, his Star Wars, is timeless. What Gene Roddenberry helped birth with Star Trek, real Star Trek, is timeless. What Rod Serling did with Twilight Zone
and Night Gallery.
But the questions that those shows make you think about, those are timeless questions, morality questions. There's nothing wrong with that.
And it even works better with the Lucas because he in this clip, he's saying, oh yeah, I was inspired by stuff like Vietnam and Nixon, but he took that and he made that into a timeless thing.
George took inspiration from a lot of things that came before him, but then he recrafted it and gave his own spin on it. Listen, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. All of us who are creatives, whether you're writing a novel or a comic book or developing a game or making music, so many things have come before us and have been done. There's no escaping repeating things. The trick is, will your version be a fresh take? Will it be interesting? Can you change it enough that you're creating something new and adding to the chorus instead of just playing as a part of the chorus and getting swallowed up and not doing anything creative, or coming in and just bashing it up and saying, oh, here's my new shit, and I'm going to piss on everything that came before me with disrespect, which is what current day does. And it's going to be up to those of us, I think, who have been gatekept from joining what we thought we wanted to be a part of with the mainstream. It's going to be up to us to usher in the next generation of fascinating, original, fun, exciting new IPs and franchises. And it's there. We're all doing it. We're just doing it in different stages. We can't all have had the foresight of, let's just say, Eric July to build up enough of his own personal business so he could fund it himself up to a point and get it started with Rippaverse. Some of us had these ideas, but came to it very late in the game, myself being one of them. And I'm simply playing catch up, trying to get to a point where I can give you my product. It's just simply, we're all getting there. I mean, Bug, you're getting close.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty close with my comic. Like, I'm getting to the stage where I can get to release it and whatnot, but it took a while. I mean, not only just to hammer down the details, but then just to get things working. Like,
it's about resources and time and having an audience ready for your product. You can't just put it out there and hope. You have to build your audience, which is what I've been doing for the past 4 years now. I'm trying to build my audience, get you guys interested. And what George Lucas did, what Gene Roddenberry did, what all these great creative men did is that they gave a product, and as soon as the audience latched onto it, they saw it and they gave you more of what you wanted. And they kept building it, and they were good caretakers of their own product. And in some cases, like Gene Roddenberry, he created a system where there were other good creatives who took it over and still made great stuff. Because perfect example, because I every Sunday I sit down and I watch an episode of DS9 with Duke Devil, Bradley Burnett, Jay Fraxford, and Jay Hitman. We sit down, we watch DS9. Roddenberry's not there anymore by the time we get there. But DS9 is one of the greatest things in Star Trek ever. It's incredible. But he's not there anymore. But there were men who took his lessons to heart and still created something grand after he was gone to carry on the legacy. George may not have written a single word of the expanded universe, but he oversaw it. Nothing that came out, let me zoom in myself for a second here, nothing on that shelf right there happened without his express permission. Not a single arc, not a single storyline. He may have complained about this or that there, but it all happened with his permission, saying, do this, don't do this. Allow this, don't allow this. Don't go over here, go over there. Don't do this because I'm doing this now. That's how it worked. He was a good caretaker for his own product. And the problem is, now that we are in these past 10 years now, we've had people who are bad caretakers. And these are people who believe in agenda-driven storytelling, not escapism storytelling. And they have pandered to the people who think Star Wars was always political, to think that Star Trek was always this or that, kind of the same line of thing. It was always preaching this or always preaching that. When, as Samuel well knows, already said, no, Star Trek its calling card was letting you come to a conclusion. No, not going to beat you over the head with a single answer. Let you, the audience, enjoy it and come up with an answer. But we don't have that anymore. Not in Star Trek, not in Star Wars, not in Doctor Who, not in anything. Because the current day caretakers are the people who think politics is everything, ideology is everything. Well, cross your fingers. Hope that we survive this era and come out the other side in one piece, where new things can take over and give us quality entertainment going forward. And with that, I am going to call it. We are almost 2.5 hours in. It is almost 1 o'clock, and I have to be very careful with my schedule this week because I am going on a trip, which means there will be no Mellow Mondays next week. No Mellow Mondays. We're off for a week because I won't be here. I'll be in Florida. Doing essentially touching grass. I know, weird, huh? I'm essentially going to be touching grass. Anyway, so let's say our farewells and bid good night. Bug, what are you up to?
Well, I'm gonna have a video up for talking about Absolute Batman, giving my more extensive thoughts on that. That'll come out probably sometime tomorrow, I'd imagine. Other than that, I might make some appearances here or there on some shows. Depends on schedule always, but if not, I'm always around on the Twitter doing my usual shenanigans, having fun. Tomorrow I'm gonna be doing a stream with True Pop talking about Daredevil. So I'll have my thoughts out on that. So look out for that. And I'll probably, depending on how long it takes that stream, I'll probably wind up doing a Twitter stream of the new episode that'll drop that night. So, I'll be going for the long game. But beyond that, that's kind of all I got for the schedule.
And do me a favor, tell True Pop next time I see him in Among Us, I'm going to murder his skinny ass. Anyway, Samuel, what you got going on this week?
Well, Tuesday or Wednesday, probably I'll be doing a Whispering in the Dark at some point. I don't know. I don't usually schedule those. I'm just planning on one of those 2 days. So we'll see when that happens. It'll probably be late night, because work week. And then we'll be back for Abyssal Musings on Friday. Over to the pub after that, Screaming to the Void on Saturday, where we talk about eating Static 2020 alive, among many other things. This last week's show was kind of wild. I started off talking about the Tesla, firebombings and shit, and we went to some really weird places after that for almost 3 hours. It was a fun show. Probably be over on Exiled Linus 2 if she goes live this weekend, which I think she will, and then back here to Mellow Mondays next week. So that's what.
No, there is no Mellow Mondays this week.
Oh, right.
I'm not here.
In that case, I'm probably going to
play video games.
Play video games and jerk off.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, it's always a good night.
Or I'm going to put the controller down and go to the bar and find a woman for the night. That's a distinct possibility.
Same difference. Still involves jerking off.
There's a joystick involved. Yeah.
All right. As for myself, rest of the week, if you haven't watched it already, go check out my all my Snow White coverage from the review to the box office, all that stuff. We're hopefully waiting. I'm hoping Zegler, if she has her meltdown, it's the next few days, so I can actually be here to cover it. Either way, so check that out. Rest of the week, we'll see what we got. If something happens, I'll do my best to cover it. Other than that, I'm going to try and fit in one more Suikoden stream so we can wrap up Suikoden 1 before I disappear for a week. And then, as I said, come Friday, I am out of town from this Friday to Saturday, April 5th. So that means no live streams. That means I will not be on Ballbusters. I will not be on Saturday. There is no drive-in. There is no roundtable and no Mill Mondays. And because normally we would have Anime Odyssey this month, both Dermy's schedule and mine prohibit it. So no Anime Odyssey this month. Maybe not even next month. We need Dermy to even out his weird overtime schedule he's unfortunately on right now. But other than that, so next week there will be videos. There'll be several pre-recorded videos. Of course, I keep doing that. Of course, they're pre-recorded. There'll be several pre-planned videos that I'll have pop up on various days. Probably non-current moment topic related. Just some thoughts I'm going to have on certain things here and there that I figure, well, if I'm going to put something out, I might just put something out that's on my mind. You guys can do with it what you will. It's also to help appease the algorithm, make sure I don't disappear completely so it gets angry at me and starts to forget what little notice it has of me. But I will be back on April 5th. I will probably then appear on Saturday night because I'll be back early in the afternoon on Saturday, so I'll be around for Saturday. I will not be on Wormhole Watch with Brad and the other guys for this next episode, which is it's actually a real episode. It's the Kyle Pocket death episode, which is actually an important episode because it's a catalyst for all the shit that's going to start to happen on Bajor religion-wise and power struggle-wise. So unfortunately, I will not be there for that episode, but I'll be back for the next one the following week. Other than that, though, so thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with us tonight, whether you were chatting or just watching live or on the replay. And I will see everybody in a week, couple weeks, week and a half, I guess how it works out. And there'll be a community tab to let you guys know exactly what things look like, just to keep up to date either way. So thank you, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time. So until then, take it easy, everybody. Hit the like button, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.